Today, let's talk about how to buy land in Kenya without getting banned. So many Kenyans have lost their hard-earned money just because they never followed proper processes in terms of purchasing land. So you've identified this good parcel of land somewhere in Anyuki, somewhere in Kericho, somewhere in Murang'a, and you decide you want to go for it and you want to purchase it. You meet the seller. He looks respectable. He shows you all the documents, his copies of ID, his copies of KRA PIN, his copies of title deed, and you decide to go on with the purchase just after inspecting the land, maybe after 1 or 2 visits. You go back, make a payment or deposit or the full payment, and you walk away with your title documents in the hope that you're going to process the title documents later, or in the promise that the owner is going to process the title documents for you and issue you with a title deed. That's a very risky way of dealing with land transactions in this country, and it's something as a lawyer I will totally not recommend it. So while land transactions in Kenya are a legal minefield, fake title deeds are still circulate around. I can call them genuine fakes. Sometimes you can have a genuine quote unquote title deed actually issued by lands registry, but you find sometimes some of these landowners collude these land registries, unfortunately. And you find yourself being issued with a title deed that actually came from the registry but never went through proper internal processes within the lands registry before the same was issued. So that is quite a rampant problem in this country. We also have the issue of multiple claimants who are claiming ownership over the same land. Same example of having gone to Nanyuki, you bought a nice parcel of land. A few weeks or a few months down the line, you receive a demand letter from another owner who actually claims ownership to the same parcel of land. Why? Because the owner who sold it to you had sold it to someone else a few weeks or a few months down the line. So you have this problem in your hands just because you do not involve the right legal professionals to assist you with this process. We also have the issue of unregistered or unsurveyed land. You find that most Kenyans still hold on to allotment letters. Allotment letters are not proof of title. It has been held as such conclusively in a number of legal precedents in this country. Just having an allotment letter is not enough. Think of it as a conditional document prior to the issuance of an actual title deed. Don't sit pretty thinking because you have an allotment letter, you actually have a valid title. No, that is not the case. An allotment letter is not a title deed. Make sure you process the same and get an actual title deed. We also have the issue of forged supporting documents, IDs, KRA pins. These are things which can easily be forged and falsified and issued to you. So, and if you don't involve the right professionals in the transactions, you can end up on the bad side of things or on the bad side of the deal. We also have issues of collusion within institutions, just like I previously mentioned. Uh, some of these some of these sellers collude with people working within the registries, and you can actually be given a title deed which has not undergone proper processes, and in the end it turns out to be fake. So always start with due diligence before jumping into price negotiations. Always start with due diligence. uh, just do just do proper due diligence before you purchase that parcel of land. So what does due diligence entail? Start off with a lands registry search. Depending on where you're buying the property, every area has a local lands registry. So first of all, you need to find out, where is this lands registry? Where can I get to this lands registry? Because you need to go to the actual physical lands registry for you to be able to conduct a search on a particular parcel of land. So once you get to the registry, there are forms you fill, you populate, an application form you populate and hand it over to the registry, pay a search fee. Some registry can be issued with the search results same day, but some registries can tell you to wait for a bit. They process it, then you can come back for it later. So always do a land search just to find out that you're dealing with the rightful owner of that particular parcel of land. Another thing that needs to be done with verify the seller's identity and legal capacity. This is very critical. Ask for their IDs, ask for their KRA pins, ask for passport photos. Just ask for all relevant documents, identifying documents, just to know that you're dealing with the right person. Also ask for mutation forms and survey maps. Mutation forms are particularly applicable in cases where the land had, like the name suggests, like where the land had mutated through subdivision. A good example, you bought a parcel of land. Maybe the previous owner bought this large parcel of land and then subdivided into smaller portions or plots, which is a typical term here locally. Someone buys a large parcel of land and then they subdivide it into smaller portions of land before actually selling it. So the mutation form essentially shows you that this subdivision process was done correctly. So always ask for a certified copy of this, typically done by the surveyor. Ensure that this is issued to you and you actually peruse it before you actually proceed with buying a subdivided plot of land. It's also critical that you also involve an actual surveyor. Surveyors are professionals within this field. They'd be better placed to tell you if a mutation form has been properly prepared or not. Then always peruse the green card. I talked about the official search, but a green card is a different ballgame altogether. Think of a green card as a birth certificate of a particular parcel of land. It contains the entire history of that particular parcel, from as far back as that particular registry started noting down entries in respect of that particular parcel of land. So a green card is a critical document. A green card will show you all historical data in relation to that land. An actual title deed limits this information. So it's always advisable to also peruse the green card to find out more about the historical processes behind this particular parcel of land. So what red flags must you never ignore? Red flag number one is unwillingness to share documents. You meet a seller, you ask them for ID, you ask them for pins, and then they just start giving you stories. That's a big, big red flag. If anyone is confident that they own a particular parcel of land, I don't see any reason why they should refuse to give you their identification documents and other typical documents required for the transfer of the land to be able to be effected. Because what are you even doing if someone asks you for title documents and you refuse to hand them over? Uh, if without the owner's title documents, there's no way you're going to transact, or there's no way the registry is going to transfer that particular parcel. So if somebody starts playing games around that the identification documents, that's a huge red flag. Another thing is pressure to pay fast. You meet a seller today, and they insist on you making a deposit fast before you even do anything. That's a huge red flag. They haven't given you the identification documents, you haven't signed any form of sale agreement, but they're pressuring you to pay fast. That's a big no-no. Then another big red flag is inherited land with no confirmed grant. A good friend wants to sell you a parcel of land. They clearly tell you, like, look, this is family property. Maybe the next of kin passed away and the parcel has not undergone proper succession processes. That's also a big red flag. Only buy a parcel of land if the seller can actually give you a confirmed grant. A confirmed grant is a document from court. Actually, it's a court order, sort of, which authorizes the relevant lands registry to transfer that particular parcel of land to the person in whose name the grant has been confirmed. So let's say if it's a deceased son, the confirmed grant will say that this particular parcel of land has actually been assigned to this particular son of the deceased. So without that confirmed grant, they don't have actual or proper ownership of that particular parcel of land. So what are the legal steps that turn interest into actual legal ownership? Just to do a quick run through. So already mentioned, conduct due diligence, do a proper and thorough due diligence in regards to this particular parcel of land. Peruse the green card if you can. Conduct an official search of the particular parcel of land. Physically visit that particular parcel of land and just find out where is it located. How does the area look like? Is it an area you'd actually want to buy a parcel of land? Talk to the neighbors. It's not even a legal process, but just talk to the neighbors, ask them about the history of that particular parcel of land. Involve your surveyor. Very important. Involve just to do their professional bit and map out the land properly for you. Once this proper due diligence is done, negotiate directly with the seller, favorable terms to you. Things like how much are you going to pay? Are you going to pay it in full? Are you going to pay a partial deposit first before making the full payment? Then, I mean, once all these key terms are agreed, reduce them into a sale agreement and then sign off on it before proceeding any further. Step 2, obtain the land control board consent if required. Now it depends on the area where this particular parcel of land is located. If it's located in an agricultural area, then you definitely need a land control board consent. Land control board consent will require yourself as the buyer and the seller to actually present yourselves before the land control board and lodge your application. And if it's successful, you can proceed with the sale. Other types of consents required include consent from the Kenya Airports Authority, if your land is located next to an airport, consent from the Kenya Railways Authority. There are various other consents. I've just mentioned just but a few. After this is done, stamp duty payment is mandatory. This is a form of tax payment to the government. So how this is typically done is that there are some transfer documents that need to be prepared and signed off by both the buyer and the seller. So you submit these documents along with the other relevant forms to the lands registry. Stamp duty is assessed, typically 2% for land located in rural areas and 4% for land located in urban areas. Once the assessment is done, you proceed and pay the relevant stamp duty. Step 4, once this is done, then you can proceed to register the transfer at the lands registry. So you go back and relodge all the documents that have been issued to you. The registry might require a copy of the sale agreement, the original sale agreement, one of the counterparts signed, or an original of the land control board consent that was issued to you, including the application forms that you used to lodge it, the actual transfer forms duly signed by both parties and should include a copy of the KRA pin of both parties, copy of the ID of both parties, copy of passport photos of both parties, and the same are usually typically witnessed by a lawyer. As an extra precaution, I always recommend get spousal consent. Spousal consent is essentially the spouse of the seller consenting that he or she consents to that particular parcel of land being sold off to you. Very important to also tick off. Then step 5, post-registration checks. You've lodged all the documents. Of course, there's a wait time as the registry processes these documents. If everything checks out, you're issued with your title documents. So don't end it there. We also have post-registration checks. So just make sure that you visit the lands registry where you lodge the title documents for registration. Request for a copy of the green card just to establish that this particular transaction where you bought this parcel of land from this seller has actually been noted in the green card. Just do this so that you can be able to sleep better at night, knowing that I did my post-registration checks, I revisited the registry, I perused the green card, I confirmed that my acquisition of this particular parcel of land has been rightfully noted by the registry. So just don't leave it at the point of you getting the title document. Then there's this issue of agents, brokers, and middlemen. Who is liable when things go wrong? So many Kenyans have bought parcels of land through brokers or through middlemen. Essentially, these are people who come to you and tell you, I know so and so, I know this particular seller, here's this nice parcel of land, and based on what you've described for me, he can give you a deal. So essentially, they facilitate you acquiring this particular parcel of land from this particular seller. So there are ways in which these particular transactions need to be structured. Typically, or I as a lawyer would recommend dealing directly with the lawyer as opposed to a middleman. But if you're faced in such a situation, or if you are faced with such a scenario, there's a way in which you can structure that transaction such that it is done properly and by the book, and that you can hold the middleman or the broker liable if things go wrong. So the cleanest way to do this is always to always demand a written mandate to be provided. The written mandate should include basic stuff like who the broker is, request for their identification document, know their actual name, and not just their nicknames that they have. Sign an actual written mandate specifying things like what is their role, who are they acting for? Are they acting for the seller? Are they acting for you? What is their commission rate, and so on and so forth. Then sign off this document and keep it nicely as a record for this particular transaction. Then never pay money directly to a broker. That's a huge no-no. Pay money either directly to the seller himself or herself, or the institution selling the particular parcel if it's a company or other registered entity, but never pay money to a broker or a middleman. You can also pay the money directly to a seller's lawyer, provided the seller's lawyer has been rightfully identified in the sale agreement as the lawyer. So, what is the legal recourse if things go wrong when you work with a middleman or a broker? If you have a written mandate, good for you, because it just makes things easier for you. It's easier for you to come to me that a deal went wrong when you're dealing with a broker when you have a written mandate with you. If you have nothing written, then it's just your word against theirs. And it becomes very difficult to enforce such vague obligations, or such to enforce such oral obligations. It becomes very difficult, make the lawyer's work extremely difficult, not entirely impossible, but it becomes difficult to prove without a written mandate. Then, why verbal promises mean nothing without paperwork? It's actually a legal requirement under Kenyan law that all transactions in land must be in writing. Never transact any transaction in land without a written sale agreement, a duly executed transfer in respect of the parcel of land. Don't let anyone lie to you or mislead you that you can actually get away with transferring property without a written sale agreement. That's a huge no-no. The Law of Contract Act requires that all transactions in land must be in writing. So don't allow anyone to tell you otherwise. So after the transfers that I already mentioned, don't relax yet. Confirm that the green card details have been duly updated. If possible, if the land is located in a rural area, just notify local authorities. This is not strictly legal. You're not required to notify the chief or anything. But typically, you can just involve the local authority, involve the chief, just notify them, like, look, I've bought this particular parcel of land, talk to the neighbors about this particular parcel of land, just so they're in the know. These are the people that can help you if things go wrong before a court of law. These can actually be your witnesses in a court of law where maybe someone has encroached on your land. Another thing to do post transfer is to fence off that particular parcel of land. And if possible, just put in a small development, maybe build a small structure. It can be a Mambati structure, nothing expensive, just to make sure that you've done something to it, as opposed to just leaving it open and bare. Anyone can come in. That is how squatters end up on your land. And there's something called adverse possession. If someone stays on your land uninterrupted for 12 years, then they have a legal right to claim that you waived your rights over that particular parcel of land. And they can actually take over your parcel of land through adverse possession. So avoid such things from taking place. Another thing that you can do is to update county rates and land rent records. So as you know, depending on where the land is located, you either need to pay land rates or land rents. So always make sure that you make these payments as required. So just comply with paying land rates and land rents after the transfer process has been completed and you have your actual title deed. Bottom line, never buy property alone, never buy land alone. Involve various professionals, involve a lawyer who is going to advise you on this particular transaction. Involve a lawyer who is going to have your best interest at heart. Involve a lawyer because they are familiar with these processes. They do this day in, day out. They know the ins and outs. They know the red flags to watch out for. There's absolutely no reason why you should sink millions in buying a particular parcel of land, and you can't set aside a few thousand shillings just to pay off a lawyer to make sure that the land deal is structured correctly and legally. Always engage legal counsel in your land transactions. Legal counsel will advise you on the various professionals, including surveyors, who you can also engage just to make sure that the land transaction is structured in a legally sound way. So if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like or subscribe to the channel. And that's pretty much it. That's how to avoid getting banned in Kenya when you're buying land. So stay tuned for more videos, and hope to catch you on the next one.